What's up, friends and fans? Jeremy here. So I've been wanting to do this video for a while now. If you're like me, you have scoured YouTube and the internet for every possible video of the BV60 Blue Voodoo combo and the Crate Stealth GT50, and you've probably watched every single one of them, like I have. And as you're reading through the forums, in the early days, there's a lot of talk about them being junk and being not usable and having, this really honky tone, things like that. So I wanted to get into it and just see if I could make anything usable out of these, figure out why they are the way they are, because I do believe that there's moments where they get a bad rap. Some of it could probably be just, legit, quality control issues, whatever. But I still think that these two amps, especially the head units, the head versions, the 50 and the 100 Stealth, and then the 120 and 300 Blue Voodoo, especially the blue Tolex with the cartoon, label. Those are the ones I think that are better than the others. But that's just me. Anyway, so we're going to jump into both. I've teamed up with Kevin Schmitt of Schmitt Amplification. He's the one that looked these two over after I got them, gave him a clean bill of health, got them, sounding pretty. And so we're going to check with him on the day that he delivered the Blue Voodoo to me at Florey's Music. And so we'll talk a little bit about that before we get into the sound samples. We're here, I'm with Kevin, and we're here at Florey's Music. And Kevin is the Schmitt Amplification owner, and he's the one that does the mods for Florey's mod shop and amp repair. And today we have the BV60, the Crate Blue Voodoo. So I picked this up, and I had Mr. Schmitt mod it for us. So without giving your secret sauce, giving the away, what exactly did you do? What's some of the things you can tell me about the mod there?
Yeah, most of these things, what I do is they're a little bit lacking on the gain, so we gain structure them through 4 of the phases of the gain stages in this thing and boost them up. And then they act like they kind of have like a parametric EQ in them, the way they're designed, because they don't use a cathode follower to push the tone stack. So there's a lot of real intricate tricks that I do to those to get those to come out sounding the way you want. And that's why you can move just every little knob a little bit. It really does a lot to these things. So you got to kind of tame them down. They're very honky when they come from the factory. So we get that mid boost out of it, and give it to. It's not a sweet mid at all. So it still has that punch. It'll cut through mixes, and then we kind of tame the highs down a little bit on them. And when you do that and gain it up, man, these things are just. People don't understand that these old Blue Voodoos are just. They're the bomb, man, with a little work.
Yeah. Well, awesome. So, we're going to take this back to a studio, and we're going to record a couple samples so you can hear what's going on, but let's check it out. Bye. All right, there you have it. Schmitt Amplification from Florey's Music. So let's talk a little bit about this amp. So when I first got this BV60, I thought it was going to be similar to the 120s and the 300s. They are not. I had asked Kevin, hey, mod this out and get this sounding, super metal. And he's like, I can't, because the schematic's different, the design's different. And so when I asked him why the design was different, what was different about it, he had said that this was more like a Fender, actually. So that's why the cleans are so spectacular. If you're doing blues, jazz, or using the clean as a pedal platform, this is going to be killer for you. I mean, it sounds great. It's worth keeping just to have the cleans alone on it. They are spectacular and really bold and full. And so I had him mod the gain stages as much as he could, take out some of the shrilliness that's in there, that you get in the high end sometimes. I did notice that this also has a honkiness, just like the Stealth does, but it's a little different. This one, after the modifications, it was about a 500 hertz, whereas the Stealth is about 4K. So you just kind of have to play with it. You got to massage it. The EQs are similar, where if you turn up the mids, you're also going to turn up some bass, and you turn up the bass, you're going to muddy some mids. And so you kind of have to massage it. You have to play it to get it, and I think that's according to maybe the speaker that you're using. So, and the cabinet. These definitely work better in enclosed cabinets. You need to try out the different speakers that come with it. I read online that a Celestion 75 will smooth out a lot of stuff with the Blue Voodoo. I've got a Warehouse 75. It's okay. It works. I'm just wanted to stick for this video with the stock 8606816 Blue Voodoo speaker. So that's what we're doing today. We're just sticking with that speaker. So just like with the other one, we're running with my 1998 Les Paul Epiphone Les Paul with the 8185 EMGs actives in there, going into the Demon Effects Tube Screamer, then into the slightly modded amp, then into the Siege 112 with the 8606816 stock Eminence Blue Voodoo speaker. All right, there you go. That's the BV60 Blue Voodoo combo. So not too bad. Just needs a little push in the front. So anyway, let's go over, and now let's turn our attentions to the GT50, the Crate Stealth combo. And so a couple things about the Crate Stealth combo that we know. It's incredibly loud. Absolutely incredibly loud. So we're going to jump over to Schmitt Amplification Laboratories, and Kev's going to pull up the schematic, and we're going to go over that and kind of explain what's happening inside the guts of this, so we better understand what Mr. Jackson was trying to do and what he was thinking when they designed this amp so many years ago. So, all right, let's cut to Kevin at Schmitt Amplification. Hey, what's up? We are here at Schmitt Amplification Laboratories. We have behind us the Crate GT50, right? GT50.
Yep, GT50.
That's the Stealth, I believe it's 50C, so it'd be the Stealth schematic. And so I've read a whole lot about the schematic, about the makeup of the amp, what gain 1 does, what gain 2 does, what it's supposed to be like, what Mr. Jackson did when he decided he was going to make this amp, and it's supposed to be a JCM 800 killer and all that other stuff. But we want to unravel the secrets of the Crate Stealth. And so we're going to zoom in here a little bit on the schematic, and I'm going to have Mr. Schmitt explain from the schematic standpoint, exactly what's going on with gain 1, gain 2, and basically how that how that whole signal works, and how maybe we can punch the front end with a tube screamer, and then find out some secrets.
Kind of knowing how it works gives you the ability to know how to dial it in. That's why a lot of people have problems dialing these things in. So
all right, so we're going to check that out. So let's take a look.
Okay, on all these amps, you've got your input jack, and it hits the first side of a tube, just one side of that first tube. Then it comes over here for the clean and hits another side of the tube. What's happening is that's your JCM 800 kind of sound, because it brings in this clipping over here, and you can even see over here, there's two clipping diodes right there. Now this section right here, when it comes out down here, you're going into basically, if you look at this, that's a dual op amp, which is a single op amp that has 2 channels, and a FET. So what that is that's acting like basically it's 100% a TS.
Like a tube screamer.
Tube screamer.
Yeah,
Yep. Yeah. Just like a tube screamer right there. And that's bringing that one in. That's your gain 1.
Gain 1.
So all it's acting like is that you put a tube screamer in the front end, but it's after the first tube, but it's still a tube screamer. When it comes out of that, it's going down to this volume knob here, the gain knob, which is bringing in all this transistorized section. That's where your gain 2. That's why the gain 2 can be so raspy, because it's all 100% solid state driven. There's absolutely no tube in that at all.
So gain 2 is more solid state.
100%.
So would that be like the solid state amps of Crate at that time?
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%.
So that would be their solid state circuit possibly.
Yes, if you buy like one of the GS series or one of them, or the GF, whatever ones that were all solid state, they're going to look like this on the mean channel.
Okay.
And then they're going to go obviously to a solid state output. But this one will then warm itself back up going through the second tube. Both the clean channel and the dirty channel get retubed. That gives it its smoothness again. When it comes out of that, it goes into like the reverb tank, and then it brings itself down here, which is your PI, and right out to your output tubes. So the real trick to these things, JCM 800 here, if you're in the clean channel, so just smack the front end with a tube screamer if you're wanting that JCM 800 80s metal sound. If you want to do it with the amp itself, you can just bring in the gain 1 and play with your gains on that, because that is a tube screamer basically. If you look at the tube screamer schematic and the tube screamer on this, it's a little different because of the voltages. But if you look at the main components that make up a tube screamer, this is a tube screamer basically. And then when you go into the solid state, obviously that's just a total different beast all on its own. It's using 1/2 of an op amp, and then it's using these clipping transistors right here, and it's doing all the switching with FETs.
Okay. So the clean channel, so the way I've experimented with it, I've been able to take the gain 1 and gain 2, turn them completely off.
Yep.
The gain 2, as we know, is only activated by the foot switch.
Yep.
So that's the switching. But I'm able to take gain 1 and gain 2 completely off, and I still get a nice tubey raw sound.
Yep.
I'm able to punch in then with an actual tube screamer on the front.
Yeah.
And it all sounds great.
Yeah.
And so that explains, to me at least, it explains that the gain 1, it's probably not exactly like a tube screamer, but it's like-ish, because I don't know if there's copyright on those schematics or whatever.
It's the same kind of process.
Same process.
Using an op amp with some FETs and some transistors, it's 100% the same concept. And really, you don't have to worry about too much with the copyright stuff, because look at all the tube screamer clones and stuff.
Oh yeah.
There's the patents on all that stuff's long gone. That's how they get away with it.
Sure.
But if you look at this again one more time, you just
said how it sounds very 800ish, because if you think, when you go through the clean channel with these guys turned all the way off, you're hitting a tube, hitting 2 tubes, coming down here, hitting your PI and your output. Well, that's 1, 2, 3 tubes. All JCM 800s have 3 tubes. So that's why you sound like a 100% a full-blown tube amp. You don't start getting that. And even when you bring this guy in, it just sounds like smacking tubes. It's when you bring the second one in that you get that kind of, you can have problems with the high end and stuff like that. But now you see why. All tubes, all the way to the output when you're in the clean, in that front side. That's why you get that 800-ish type sound. That's how you get her.
Fascinating.
Yeah,
That's
these amps were way more advanced than people knew. He really did a good number to these things, just putting a couple pedals. It's like, basically, I would say, if you had to say what it's like having a JCM 800 with a built-in tube screamer and a built-in like metal, one of those metal screamer type pedals.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's
basically what it's like, all built in one thing. He was a genius.
Really kind of, I mean, especially since it comes in after the gain 2, goes back in through the tubes, warms up, softens it, makes it a little more squishy.
Yeah.
That's...
The tubes definitely give it the feel and everything, but it won't get rid of that sizzliness that gain 2 can bring in. So, I mean, and you can mod those. You can mod the parts in there to get it less sizzly and stuff if you care to, but I mean, you can usually dial them in. Now that you know how they work, that's the whole thing. It's like, what are these knobs doing? Now you know. You're adding a ton of solid state with that gain too, so cranking that gain up is going to get real nasty real quick.
Right.
Not the nasty we like.
No.
People try to play them in bedrooms, and they're not made. They're if you ever heard or played through a JCM 800, you understand. That's basically what this is, with a bunch of built-in mods on top of it. It's basically what it is. So have you ever played a JCM 800 lightly in your bedroom and had it sound good? Impossible. They do not. They have to be cranked up to at least, like he said, get up there around 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and she'll start breathing, and anything past that just gets even better. So that's the whole downside to these things. They are not made for being in the bedroom. They're made for playing out and doing studio stuff. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, he had these designs for a reason. This was for people that played out all the time. And that's what he designed them for, and for studio work. He didn't design them for people to play in their bedrooms.
Because, I mean, your influences were your rock bands, your metal bands, and so, hey, and what do? They were playing 4x12s.
Oh, yeah.
Full 100-watt stacks.
And cranked.
And so you have to put all those pieces together in order to get that sound.
But that's all you got to do. Just think of dialing this thing in like you have 2 pedals. Treat those gain 1 and gain 2 like they're just pedals, and you're gonna see you're gonna start dialing in some good tones when you treat it like that.
Yeah.
Stop treating it like an amp, like most people do, because they think it is in the amp. It's got to be the amp. Nah, it's basically like having 2 pedals built into the amp. So if you do that, you'll really start being able to dial them in.
And still you can still use your pedals in front.
Oh, 100%.
So that's what we're gonna show you. We're gonna demo some of that.
You sure can.
Anyway, thank you, Kevin, and let's get on to more of the video. Peace. Okay, so you saw on the schematic that, and just for clarification, we're saying channel 1. That was a mistake. It is actually still channel 2. It's just we just don't have the gain 1 and gain 2 engaged. So when he says channel 1, and then channel 2, you know what I'm saying. Channel 1's going to be your clean. Channel 2 is when we engage the overdrive. And so the way I like to run it, and the way we're going to run it today, is the preamp I'm going to set to about 3 o'clock. We start with gain 1 and gain 2 off. So we're not even going to use gain 2 because I don't want to use gain 2. We all know what gain 2 does. According to the schematic and according to Schmitt Amplification, gain 2 is a solid state sound. I want to stick with more of the tube as much as possible, just for at least for this video. So we turn gain 1 all the way down. We smack it in the front end again with the Demon Effects Tube Screamer, or any other Tube Screamer, or even your SD1s or whatever you like. I just found the Tube Screamer style seems to work the best. Then get that to taste, and then slowly bring up your gain 1 ever so slightly to fill in those gaps and get that the tightness and the crunch that you like, and actually combine the two. So you're running the front end of the amp, then you're running the gain 1, and then you're smacking it just a little bit with the Tube Screamer, like on a clean boost. That works. So one thing that I noticed about this amp is it still, mentioned earlier that it's kind of honky, in the sound. And so I found that by running through the effects loop, running through an EQ pedal, I found that if you kill the 4K, so 4K, kill the 4K between 6 and 10 dB, maybe it bleeds over into the 8K a little bit, kind of kill that down about 3 dB. But really the 4K, if you kill that 4K, it really changes the amp quite a bit. And so we'll be running an EQ pedal with the 4K cut about 6 to 10 dB, and maybe just a little bit of the 8K. and we'll still going through the same same amp. The same speaker cabinet, the Siege 112 with the 86068 16 Eminence speaker that came stock in the Blue Voodoo cabs. Anyway, let's see what we're working with here. For this test, we'll be running this 2001 Epiphone Les Paul. It has the Gus G Blackfire pickups in it. Really sweet set of pickups I got from Gus off his website, so check that out. Blackfire pickups, they are awesome. So let's check out our tone, shall we? This is going to be what we're going to use for the layering of the Disciples of Metal demo track, and that is from my band InnerSiege off of our upcoming third album, due sometime hopefully in 2025 here. Here is our tone. Okay, there you have it. The Crate GT50 Stealth and the Crate BV60 Blue Voodoo. Yeah, great little amps. Don't really understand all the hate, but you know, for all my bros and the Crate amplification lovers groups, this video is for you, man. So this, I think, is the first time that anybody's ever put these two amps together in a video. I've not seen one, at least. And so hopefully you found that informative, and hopefully you'll check out Flory's music online, florysmusic.com. And if you have a Blue Voodoo, a Blue Tolex version, let's get in touch with Schmitt Amplification and let him mod that sucker, and you won't believe how ferocious that amp can actually be. And so appreciate you taking the time. And just like with anything, man, I'm not a professional engineer. I don't know everything there is to know about these amps. I'm not even a good guitar player. And so this is for this video is for conversation's sake. So hopefully you got something out of it, and hopefully re-sparks a new interest in these amps, because they're pretty killer. They're different than a Marshall. They're different than a Mesa. That honkiness, they have their own kind of thing going on. For instance, the Blue Voodoo over here, it has a honkiness about 500. Which this one has a honkiness at 4,000. So I don't know, man, it's weird. Just the way they designed them. So you cut a little bit of 500 on the Blue Voodoo, you cut a little bit of 4K, and now you're talking, usable tone. Your speakers definitely play a large part. If you're not plugging these into a 412 cab, a 212 cab, a single isolated cab, then you're not getting the most out of them for sure. The speakers in the combos usually aren't the greatest, as well as they're also open back, and so you're not going to get nearly the punch that you can from an enclosed cab. So check it out. Get a single 112, get a 212, get a 412. The amps really come to life. You really got to turn them up, both of them. You really got to turn them up to get anything out of them. Just remember the Blue Voodoo combo is not really a metal amp. It can be modded to get you close and then punch in. It'd be a great layering amp, as we've already shown in the video. You can layer it really well. Does a good job of that. It's tight. It works well. The Stealth definitely is a metal ripper. I mean, it is ferocious on its own. And so yeah, man, that's it. I don't know everything, so if you have something to add, please add in the comments. And if there's something I missed, let me know. We'll try to put a note within the video with your remarks. So hey man, this is for you. So appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for watching, and keep it metal.